Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Spiritual Research Center here in Hamilton, Ontario, where I have a biblical Hotep moment for you. My name is Zachary Strong, and I am a biblical scholar, author, and musician. And over the last 5 or 6 years, especially since the pandemic, I've had the pleasure of being a visitor in the Hotep community. Now, if you don't know who the Hoteps are, the very short story is they are a group of African scholars and African champions operating largely in the United States. And what the Hoteps do, I suppose, is champion African pride, they champion African interests, and particularly African American interests. And, I would say justice and autonomy. That's what the Hoteps are primarily concerned about. Now, unfortunately, the Hoteps get a bit of a bad rap in the mainstream. So people look at them and they say, okay, you guys are obsessed with black pharaohs. You think you were pharaohs, and so on, right? But the reality is that when you look at various busts created in ancient Egypt, some of them have black features, which means that there were black pharaohs. Okay, so the Hoteps, been told you on that one. The Hoteps also are concerned about various elements of cultural appropriation and, how various things come back to African influences. And for some reason, they get a bad rap for that. And ever since the pandemic started, they were absolutely certain that the thing was a psyop and not a good idea. And it seems that time has proven them right. So Hotep's been told you there as well. And so yeah, I'm indebted to the Hotep community partially because they helped me not get the thing. And I've really enjoyed what they're bringing to the table in terms of cultural commentary, scholarship, and so on. So what I thought I would do in this video is share with you something very interesting from a book called The 6 Days of Creation. So this is a book by Rabbi Alexander Houle, and it's about various mysteries in Genesis. Okay. Now, in this book, among other things, it discusses the location of the Garden of Eden. It discusses the location of the Garden of Eden. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the section of the book that reveals roughly where the Garden of Eden is, or at least the entrance. Okay? If you're a Bible person, you'll know that the entrance is guarded by angels with swords. Like, not really something we can enter, but I think it would be worth sharing where the Garden of Eden is. So, the Talmud relates that Alexander the Great went to Africa, passed over the mountains of darkness with the help of the sages, and came across the Garden of Eden. He was prevented from entering, but out of respect for his kingship, a human eye was ejected from the Garden of Eden. We are also told that the gates to Gehenna are also there. But we qualify further. In Genesis chapter 25, verse 6, the verse says that Abraham sent the sons of the concubines away from Isaac, eastward to the land of the east. The verse can't mean to the land of the east of Abraham, and it can't mean to the far east, because one of the sons of the concubines was Midian, who settled in Saudi Arabia. So it must mean to the land east of a very significant place, barring the Holy Land, since Abraham was there. The only other place of significance was surely Eden. In the same vein, the verse in Genesis chapter 10, verse 30, which states that the sons of Shem settled by the mountain of the east, is referring to the mountain east of Eden, and the verse in Genesis chapter 11, verse 2, which says they left the east to go to Shinar, means the east of Eden. Accordingly, we can determine that the Garden of Eden must lie right next to the tip of the Red Sea opposite Yemen. In this way, the Garden of Eden is east of part of the land of Shinar and west of a mountainous region that lies across the tip of the Red Sea on the west coast of Yemen. This directs us to the very small section of Africa opposite Yemen, comprising part of Eritrea and part of Ethiopia. So, if the Garden of Eden is indeed in Africa, which even rabbis say it is, that would mean that Adam and Eve were African. Okay, I don't know if they were melanated or not melanated. We don't know what color their skin was, but Adam and Eve were definitely African. Okay, and so I think that's incredible. You know, I hope any of my Hotep friends watching this find that entertaining and interesting. And I suppose all I could say is Ufiku Veshele, Upuma e Africa. You can buy my book on Amazon if you want. In it,